On today's episode of Titus and Tate, the National Player of the Year picture is becoming clear, Tate. I got it down to two men. Malaki Branham
Oh, yes.
and Kerr Kriisa.
31 points on 14 shots.
Yeah.
That's a Big Ten stat of the day right there.
Malaki Branham is the hype is becoming the hype. We're going to talk about it, but I am in a weird position. As all Buckeye fans are in a weird position where we're like, this is great, but also slow down, Malaki.
Don't leave us.
Please don't leave.
Please don't leave us.
But I think he might be gone. Also, Kerr Kriisa had a triple-double last night. And
I love Kerr Kriisa.
God, I love him as
UCLA let me down.
I know. We got to talk about that.
No, let's not talk about it.
I want to talk about that a little bit because the panic button might be.
No.
Yeah.
Just wait to the tournament. Wait till March.
All right.
This is still February.
All right. Well, we might talk about it.
Vic is a man of March.
I also want to talk about the luck of the Friarish continuing.
Yes.
As we're starting to call it on this program.
A triple OT thriller in the dunk.
The most well-timed roof leak in college basketball history.
There's no world in which that they lose that game without the roof leaking.
I feel a little lazy as guys who talk about college basketball, that every time we talk about Providence, we just talk about how lucky they are and just kind of hit the same points over and over. But every time you watch them, that is the story. You come out of it, you're like, how does this keep happening? How does the roof leak with 2 minutes left in the game and they're down 3?
Yeah.
It's miracles just keep happening. We're going to talk about that.
It was the perfect amount of time. In fact, they almost played the game without TV, without cameras. They were like, we're going to go to another gym and we're going to talk about it.
It's so funny. Also, I got a fraud list for you.
Fraud
Friday is here.
Nice.
I might need you to give me an ACC update too, because I've been seeing a little.
I'm done.
No, I know.
I'm done. I am fighting the good fight, and it's not a good fight.
It's a loaded show. All of it's coming up at first.
Woody Durham.
All right, Tate, let's start with the game of the night last night, Ohio State at Illinois. A huge surprise for me as a
Plummer versus Branham, not EJ Liddell versus Kofi Coburn.
I going into the game, I'll be honest, did not expect Ohio State to win. I thought Illinois. We've said this over and over on the show that we both are believers of Illinois, and it's at Illinois, and Illinois is in contention for a Big Ten title. It's a must win for them in that regard. Like, all the stars were aligned for Illinois, and I thought, I don't think it's going to work. And EJ Liddell, by the way, going into this game had the flu, is what they were saying.
And also had the crowd against him. They were chanting EJ sucks because he's from Illinois, but decided not to play at Illinois.
Yeah, I gotta say, EJ Liddell playing in this game when everyone was saying he had the flu. I think that COVID's definitively over now. Is that how it works? Like, that was a weird
2 months ago. No way he plays.
It's like EJ Liddell is sick and has an infectious disease, and we're like, oh my God, what is it? It's like, it's not COVID. We're like, oh, thank God, we'll play him.
Get him out there.
Get him out there. Let him play. I don't think it was the flu. You can't play with the flu, right? If you have I don't know. Anyway, the point was
cold. Let's say cold.
It was looking like he wasn't going to play. I didn't think Ohio State had a chance. Pleasantly surprised. Ohio State gets a huge lead. Malaki Branham playing out of his mind.
Yeah. EJ has a good game.
EJ played well.
Yeah.
And then for Illinois Mr. Basketball, by the way, EJ Liddell. So he's going back.
That's why they chanted EJ sucks. EJ sucks.
All the crap. And then we get the full Ohio State experience, which is that EJ Liddell and Malaki Branham are awesome, but this team cannot hold a lead to save their life. Yeah. And I realized, I walked away from the game realizing that this team is good enough to break my heart, and that's where I'm at with it. Like, they're good enough to pull me in. I get pulled in. I love Malaki Branham so much. I love EJ Liddell. I've said this before, Tate. When Ohio State beat Michigan, I went on a little rant about how excited I am watching these guys play.
Yeah.
But I also realize in the back of my mind, this is going to end poorly.
Yeah.
And I don't like that feeling at all.
This game was Jim was on the phone with me, and I'm watching this game. Ohio State's up 15, I think, at this point. And he continues to talk, and it continues to dwindle down. I'm watching it. I'm like, oh no, they're melting down. This is Ohio State that we've seen before. I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah.
But the real star and the real story of this game is Brad Underwood.
Yeah.
The pointer.
Yep.
And that man
Getting
put on a show.
Yep.
And, Katie Underwood was our intern. We usually don't know much about our interns' parents or like their life at home.
Right.
But lucky for us, we get to watch her dad go crazy on TV. And it keeps us connected. It was great.
Not a great showing, I'll say, from Brad Underwood in the sense that his vocabulary, he didn't have a lot of insults. He just kept saying that's effing bullshit.
He didn't know what to say, but he knew that it was very much like a baseball manager. You know, when they know that they have to basically, kick some dirt on home plate and get tossed.
Right.
That's what he was doing. It was a show. He knew he had to get tossed for the crowd. But like you said, I don't think he had anything really to say other than this is
I got an off-season video idea. Katie can help organize it, where we help Brad come up with other things to yell at the refs other than that's fun. You can't just say shit over and over. You gotta come up with something that, like, Jackie. What would Jackie Moon do?
Yeah.
Like that's
you saw it, Gene.
Yeah,
saw it. Something like that. Something specific.
we gotta spice it up a little bit. Brad Underwood was losing his mind because Kofi Cockburn was not getting a favorable whistle. We'll put it that way. And I will admit, as a Buckeye, as a guy who was on the other end of this, Illinois fans are losing their minds at how bad the refs are. I will admit that Kofi, was.
He was getting roughed up.
Yeah, he was getting,
and they weren't calling it.
They weren't. The refs weren't great.
But what is Kofi Coburn's game? Bully ball.
Yeah.
And when he can't bully.
Yeah. So
this is what we
see.
This
is what I was going to say. Is that the refs were against Kofi. The refs were against Illinois. I have no problem admitting that. But Kofi was getting absolutely owned by Kyle Young. So, like, actually, the refs fouling out Kofi Cockburn actually was a good thing for Illinois. So I don't know why Illinois fans are so mad. The refs were doing them a favor.
Happened.
The refs did them a favor. They made them better. With Kofi's out of the game, they're better. Kyle Young was absolutely dominating that game. Kyle Young had
18 and 7 in this game, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Which is my problem with Ohio State, because like you said, you get past, like, you're looking at EJ Liddell, you're like, National Player of the Year.
Yeah.
I can see it. I see a path for that. And then you go, look at this stud, Malaki Branham. I love it. And then the next guy is Kyle Young. And Kyle Young is all heart, you know what I mean? But you get a little, that raises my concern a little bit.
He's not the next guy, but he was on this night. But
he's also Chris Holtman's guy.
If you're talking about like the construction of this Ohio State team, it's supposed to be Justice Suing. I mean, Justice Suing hasn't played for most of the season, and that is the big.
What was Michi wearing, by the way?
Oh, he's got like he messed up his.
That was very old school though. I never got like a close up.
He's been wearing that for a minute. Yeah, he's venturing on. He hasn't been balling out like I want him to in it, so I don't think he's gonna keep it forever. But he's been wearing it forever, and it looks like
a hockey.
It looks It looks pretty badass, but I don't think it's like I would love a world where he was like playing better in it, and then he would just keep the
Rip Hamilton.
On. Yeah, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
Joey Brunk also played in this game. Shout out to Joey Brunk.
Shout out to Joey Brunk. There you go. But yeah, Ohio State to me, Tate, is a team. I've said this to you before that if you covered the score and the time, no one on the court knew the score or the time.
Yeah.
You're just out there playing. We're just out there having a good time.
Yeah.
Like soccer and the extra time of soccer, the stoppage time of soccer, when everyone's just kind of playing and it's up to the ref to blow the whistle, and we don't know. We don't know. The ref's the only one that knows.
They told us it was 3 minutes, but right now we're at 3:20 and we're still playing.
What's going on? So everyone's just kind of waiting for the ref to blow the whistle to say the game's over. If that's how the entire game worked, and also you covered the scoreboard, Ohio State might be the best team in the country, because like we just play. We have no concept of time or score at any point in time. And then suddenly, in the last 4 minutes, the other team will like tighten up a little bit and say, all right, it's winning time. It's time to do this. Ohio State does not do that.
No. They're like, what are these guys doing? What are these guys up to?
There's a third half, right? Like this isn't into the game. Why are they playing so hard? Why are they pressing us? This is weird.
Yeah.
And I don't love that. I don't love that experience. That happens over and over again. It happened last year. It's happening this year. I don't know. I don't think we're going to fix that. So it's really like the worst position to be in. I think it's if you're a college basketball fan heading into March, you want your team to just completely suck, so you have no expectations whatsoever.
Yeah.
Or you want your team to be awesome, and you're like, this is such a Gonzaga, Arizona, Kentucky level where you're just like, this is just so great.
Give me to the tournament.
I think we can win a national title.
Yeah.
I really think we're that good. I'm stuck in no man's land where the team is good enough for me to really be so excited for what they could be, but also I know in the back of my mind it's not going to work out, and that's devastating. it's devastating to find yourself there. That's the worst position to be in. So
yeah, and it also really hurts me because Illinois is one of those. When we looked at the Big Ten, we talked about this. They're my team that I think could actually win the national title.
No, I'm out on Illinois.
But that game last night really,
I'm done with Illinois.
It reminds you of why there is a ceiling on Illinois.
Get Illinois out. Bring Purdue back. I've been saying Illinois is better suited for the March run because Purdue doesn't play any defense. Purdue's defense is still atrocious. I don't necessarily trust Purdue, but I think Purdue. Give me Purdue back. Purdue's more fun. Purdue's like because it dawned on me last night as Illinois fans are complaining about the refs and then like doing I was getting people tweeting me videos of Trent Frazier drives to the bucket on their final possession or close to the end. He jumps in the air with no plan whatsoever, and EJ Liddell just jumps straight up. And then they hit each other, like they kind of make contact, and then Trent Frazier throws it into the fifth row.
Yeah.
And then I saw Illinois fans saying, like, complaining about how that was a no call.
He thought someone was going to be there. There's no one there.
And as all this was going on, Tate, it dawned on me that Illinois fans are the culture around Illinois basketball. What?
I mean, Illinois fans are very loud.
The culture around Illinois basketball in general is they whine.
They have noise in their name.
They whine too much.
Yeah, they make a lot of noise.
The culture of Illinois basketball, the fans, the players, the coaches, on down. Like I say this as a guy who
I'm laughing because I am an Illinois guy, so I'm just like you're not wrong, but it hurts. I'm laughing to keep.
I'm an Illinois guy too. I We'll make it through this. I in 2005, I was a guy who said that Sean May's fat ass throwing his fat ass around against Illinois was bullshit, and Illinois deserved a fair whistle in that game. I believe that
in the post.
I believe that in 2005. I believe that last year Illinois should have won the regular season Big Ten championship. Same. I thought that was Mickey Mouse. That Michigan got a hanging banner. Illinois didn't. So I was with them whining there. But then like it hit me that like all the Illinois fans this year have been complaining about how Kofi's not National Player of the Year. And like, if you say that Oscar Tshiebwe is going to win it or Johnny Davis is going to win, whatever.
They come at you.
They're like, what about Kofi? And it's like, I know what my eyes tell me every time I watch Kofi against, guys big as him and or Kyle Young. Like this guy is not National Player of the Year. They complain about that. They complain about the fit. Like there's like an insecurity and inferiority complex going around Illinois basketball. And I say this lovingly, we got to fix that. We have to fix that because it's like the pressure is getting to them. Like they know that their time is now or something. And they feel like, like they could feel it slipping away. Like you lose Ohio State at home, you're probably not winning the Big Ten this year. And they wanted to win the Big Ten because they felt like they won it last year.
Yeah.
And didn't get have the cutting of the nets on their home court like they wanted. So now they're like, the pressure's on to do it this year. It's not going to happen this year. I just don't like the headspace of the Illinois program right now.
Yeah. And Brad,
I don't like it.
Brad was trying to, I think, send a jolt to that fan base with his actions last night. Like, I think that's why he did that. I think that was the stage, and he was like, I have to show that we're not going to take this. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to take it. We're going to fight back. We're going to claw back. And luckily they did in this game until they kind of collapsed again at the end. So there's a sliver of hope that I still have for Illinois, but I am right there with you. When I watched last night, I was like, okay, this is the team that in March breaks my heart.
Yeah, you gotta turn it in when things are going right. Look inside, Tate, and figure out how to fix it. Like, listen, the refs were terrible. The refs screwed Kofi. He fouls out on like it was sort of a soft call. He did push Kyle Young, but I don't like that. If that happened to my team, I'd be pissed off that that's how you foul out our best player. All of that is true.
Yeah.
What's also true is that Ohio State was dominating. You had no answer whatsoever for Malaki Branham. You let Kyle Young run circles around you and do whatever he wanted out there. So maybe start with that. Let's fix that if you're Illinois, instead of, complaining about the refs and complaining about how no one takes Kofi seriously. Is big. How come Kofi doesn't get a fair whistle? Like all that. Like fix your problems first, and then we'll address these. They don't want to fix the problems. I don't like that. I just don't like where Illinois is at. I don't like the vibe coming out of Champaign.
I left both games last night concerned about both teams in March, which is not where I want to be, because Ohio State, I don't like that they can't close the game out, and Illinois, I don't like that they, like you said, everything else exterior seems to have their attention as opposed to what's right in front of them.
You want to see the most entertaining game in March Madness? Put Ohio State versus Providence. Just fast forward to like 4 minutes left, and Ohio State's up by 26.
Yes.
And then see what happens.
And here we go.
And watch what happens next. And that'll be,
yeah.
If that happens, that'll be the most entertaining basketball you will ever watch.
Can we talk about Providence?
Please.
Can we talk about the fact that Al Durham is called by Ed Cooley the closer? And this guy will be nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
Hasn't taken a shot all game. And then, like you said, we get into crunch time, and all of a sudden, Al Durham's got like pivotal free throws that he somehow knocks down.
Uh-huh.
I mean, in general, this whole team in this whole game against Xavier that we're talking about, I mean, they felt like they were dead
Triple
to rights.
overtime win.
They felt like they were dead to rights multiple times during regulation, though, before we even got to overtime. And somehow or another, first we get the leaky roof. That was the first stoppage, and that was in regulation. We have about 2 minutes to go in the game, and water's coming down from the dunk, from the roof. We have to stop. There's this whole debate. They cut back to the studio. Do they play? Do they not play? Is it safe to play? They decide that the towel boys are going to come out and clean up the water while the one team's on the other.
It reminded me of the aircraft carrier game.
Yeah, where it was just like, are we sure we should be doing this? Is this safe? And then there was even a suggestion to go play it in another gym, in the volleyball gym, just because they had to finish the game, but there would be no cameras there. So we went probably the most exciting, thrilling game of the season. Almost,
I love the idea.
Would not have been televised.
I love the idea they play in the volleyball, and then like John Fanta has got his iPhone, and he's just like he's just streaming it.
It's a triple OT thriller. We're outside the dunk.
He's just that's how it's broadcast
honestly
to the world. Yeah, this is
it was chaos.
Providence's 11th win. Shout out to our guy Evan Miyakawa, who's becoming my favorite statistician in college basketball. Pointed out this is the 11th win for Providence by 5 or fewer or in overtime. So he defines a close game. If you win by 5 or the game goes in overtime, they've won 11 games like that this year.
Wow.
It's insane. And they've only lost 3 games. So it's like, it'd be one thing if they just played in a lot of close games, and sometimes it works out for them, sometimes it doesn't. It always works out for them. It really does. It's staggering. Jared Bynum plays 43 minutes off the bench and has 27 points.
Yeah.
He's averaging 23 points per game in his last 6 games, and he doesn't even start for him. It's this team is comical, and I do say that lovingly. Like I don't think they're bad, but every time I watch Providence, it's like same thing as like I just said about Ohio State. You cover time and score. You don't like focus on who's winning, whatever. You're just like kind of watching it and taking it in. Nothing about this team wows you. It's just like at the very end, they somehow flip a switch, and it's hilarious now, like, because it feels to me like the Providence fan base is sort of split, where like half of them, this probably isn't true, but this is my perception, where like half of them feel like this is awesome and we're lucky and let's just lean into it, and the other half are like, including Ed Cooley, are fighting for more respect. Like quit blaming it on luck. Like, we're actually talented, we're actually good.
Yeah.
But then every time you get a chance to prove it, you're playing at Butler, you're playing DePaul at home. It's like, all right, well, if you're talented, like, just win by 20. Just go win by 20. Like, we don't want to do that.
It's like,
why would we do that?
That's not what we do. We put on a show, and it did feel like, I mean, it was quite the scene. You know what I mean? Especially during the intermission, while they decided if they were going to, play in the, with the leaky roof or not. The crowd's insane there. I mean, they really are.
Insane,
they are. Yeah. They're like singing songs. I mean, Grand Canyon is looking at this, and they are so jealous. This is what Grand Canyon wishes they could be on the mainstream. So shout out to the Providence fans. And I think in March they were going to be a stay away for me. I was like, I cannot let luck ride, but they're a team of destiny. I'm riding them to the.
I don't know.
I'm riding them to the Elite Eight.
I don't know how you can watch a roof leak at the perfect time.
Exactly.
Like
if you're not a team of destiny is what I'm saying. So I am officially in.
If this is any other team and that happens, I 100% believe that someone like cracked like there's a guy standing on the roof with like a hammer and a flathead.
If this is Cameron Indoor,
yes.
Savarino's on the roof and he is,
and they're waiting for the call, and they're okay. We're down 3 with 2:43. All right, do it now. Do it now, and then you just let the roof leak. But it's Providence, so I'm like, no. It actually makes a ton of sense that there's an act of God at the perfect time in this game that paused the game. Like the Cubs-Indians World Series Game 7, that like, as your ball's getting tight, like everyone just
take a
deep breath.
Yeah.
Let's focus.
A little rain delay.
Yeah. Let's come out and win the game. It's amazing.
God was weeping because he was like, I did it again.
You know what else? The race to 69 failed in this one.
Yeah. 93.7% of the time. What can we
Which
do?
shows even more that there's
divine intervention.
Yeah, there's divine intervention going on.
This game almost got 100 points. And also there was the Colorado State-Wyoming game was coming on after this, and it literally was in the second half with 6 minutes to go before the game could even come on because of the triple overtime.
It was in the second half with 6 minutes left?
Once the Providence Xavier game was finally done after triple overtime. Because of the roof, you know what I mean? You got to deal with the roof leak time.
It's like the longest game in the history of college basketball.
I literally was thinking to myself how hilarious it would be if you're a Wyoming or a Colorado State fan and you just been watching Providence and you get to watch the last 6 minutes of your team.
Providence, by the way, Providence, I got confirmation Saturday against Creighton. They win that. They win the Big East. They don't need to because they have 2 games left. Saturday at home against Creighton, and they play at Villanova, which we probably aren't expecting them to beat Villanova at Villanova.
I don't think
especially if it comes down to if going into that game, it's like if Villanova wins, they're Big East champions. If Providence wins, they're Big East champions.
Congrats, Villanova.
Congratulations, Villanova.
Yes,
Villanova's printing the shirts.
You've done it again. Yeah.
Villanova,
they're already wearing the shirts when the game starts.
Yeah,
the crowd, they're on the chairs.
During Jay Wright's pregame speech, the managers are taping up plastic on the lockers for the champagne after the game.
Yes, exactly.
But they don't have to worry about that. Providence doesn't have to worry about that. You beat Creighton at home, it's over. I think Villanova might still get a share. I don't know. There's the Mickey Mouse COVID standings where Villanova plays more games. So I don't know if Providence beats Creighton. I don't know if Villanova still has a chance at a share. I just know that Providence gets a share at least.
And that'll be the first time ever.
If Providence beats Creighton, they get a cut down nets. That's all I know.
Creighton plays spoiler, by the
You think so?
No, I mean just in general, as a program.
I thought you were predicting that they're gonna.
I kind of.
The most Providence move would be to lose to Creighton, and then beat Villanova some miraculously.
Yes. In a triple overtime. Top 10 tilt.
Top 10.
That's Providence.
Hilarious. It's there's no other way to describe this Providence season. It's just
it's great for Ed Cooley because, like I said, he should be the hottest name. For every coaching search should have Ed Cooley in it.
Yeah,
which is great.
Yeah,
I love Ed Cooley.
You also love the UCLA Bruins, and
God,
the sky is falling.
No.
Where are you at with the panic button? They were swept by Oregon last night.
Yeah.
Johnny Juzang's ankle.
Bad matchup.
Is with
Oregon.
UCLA players having ankles. Is that the bad matchup? Because what's going on with the Juzang? Jaime Jaquez, as we know, is his ankles will never be 100% again.
That was the most depressing injury report I've ever had during a game, during that USC game.
Yeah. Are you hitting the panic button? I already hit the panic button. I hit the panic button when they lost to USC. Are you there? Are you joining me?
No, I'm not land? Because Evan, our statistician, he put out the best 4 lineups, the best of 4 players in the country. UCLA was number 2 when they have Jaime Jaquez, Jalen Clark, Johnny Juzang, and Jules Bernard. And I like that 4. And then you can rotate Cody Riley, who hits you with the left hand, Miles Johnson, who hits you with the right hand. Confuses people. They're like, which one is right-handed, which one is left-handed? They're similar the way they play. They're built similarly. So I like UCLA when we get to March as far as the matchup. Oregon last night, Oregon's got to be on the good side of the bubble. I don't know how the bubble works. Obviously, I'm losing my mind fighting what even is the bubble. But I assume that Oregon wins this game. They sweep UCLA. They should be on the right side of the bubble. So I don't take it that personally because I do. Again, everything with UCLA is framing. This is a bad matchup. UCLA versus Oregon. Oregon's a bad matchup. So and there might be, like I said before, some sort of Nike deal that's underlined here.
There you go.
Because Oregon has to get in the tournament. I'm not freaking out.
I don't think Oregon's getting in the tournament.
I think I
don't think that's enough. Because I don't think UCLA's that good. I don't think sweeping UCLA is enough to what is Oregon's?
Yeah. UCLA has the same amount of wins as Carolina. A lot of people forget that. Big Ten side of the day right there. Both of my blue bloods.
Because Oregon has lost to Cal at home by 14 points.
Okay. Conference
got
loss.
Absolutely destroyed last week at Arizona State.
Conference loss. Hot team. Bad matchup.
They were swept by Arizona State. Lost to Stanford.
Oh, Stanford's pretty good though. They're scrappy.
Lost by 1,000 to BYU.
You know what I've learned doing all this bubble talk? I'm just show me your conference record. Show me your best win, and then I'll decide if you're in. That's all I need. Throw everything else out.
Let's do Big Ten Stat of the Week and then take a break because I want to get to fraud power rankings because you're talking about the bubble a lot, and I think we're gonna.
Oh man, we have so many frauds.
I think.
I hope you have some frauds that I have been.
I think we can shelf the bubble discussion for the fraud power rankings. So let's do Big Ten Stat of the Week and keep it moving here.
Yeah, Big Ten Stat of the Week for me is pretty easy. This is coming from a bracketologist, and he is giving me this stat: the WCC has 3 teams inside the top 25 of the net. Here's the stat for you. Only the Big 12, Big 10, and SEC have more top 25 teams in the net. So the WCC is in 4th place with 3 teams in the top 25 of the net, but they are only behind the Big 12, the Big 10, and the SEC. I guess that's all that says is that the WCC should have at least 3 teams in the NCAA tournament.
And the Big 10
should have more because they are in front of the WCC. And they have 4 teams.
The Big 10
they have 4 top 25 teams in the net. Welcome to college basketball. This is what people talk about now, apparently.
Tate has completely lost his. We have to stage an intervention. Yeah, no, we have to stage an intervention with the bubble. We're going to do it later. Just hold on. I'm just
there you
get
go.
through
That's
this.
your Big Ten stat.
I want to get through this.
WCC, 3 top 25 teams in the net. All praise be to the net.
I'm gonna get through this. I have never in my life seen anybody unravel the way Tate is unraveling with the bubble right now. So we're gonna get through this together, and then we're gonna have the discussion about the bubble because this is all right. My Big Ten stat of the week is Illinois. The Illinois on Big Ten Network Twitter account at Illinois on BTN on Saturday tweeted this: the highest road win percentage in power conference play over the course of the last 3 seasons belongs to these teams. Baylor's number 1. They're 19-5 on the road in power conference play. Kansas is number 2. They're 17-7 on the road in power conference play over the last 3 seasons. Number 3 is Villanova at 16-8. Number 4 is Illinois at 19-10. And also there was a stat within the stat that the 19 wins is 3 more than any other Big Ten team over that span. Do you have any idea what I just said?
No, but I've heard 19 and 16 and that Illinois was in 4th. And I think Illinois is my favorite Big Ten stats of the day when the Big Ten team is in 4th place.
The Big Ten,
but that is the stat.
Illinois. I'll boil it down like this: Illinois is 4th among power conference teams on the road in the last 3 seasons.
Wait, what?
So there you go.
It is impressive. I think it's impressive.
Let's take a break. We'll come back. We got to do the fraud power rankings and do a little bubble intervention for Tate because
I'm fighting the good fight.
He's losing it. All right, let's do fraud power rankings, Tate. I'm going to start with an honorable mention, which is, as I said, we were talking about UCLA's ankle doctor. I think, do they have an ankle doctor? Does such a guy exist? I thought UCLA had like good medical school.
No, there is an ankle doctor that actually fixed Steph Curry's ankles. I'm not even kidding you. And one of my friends was trying to get surgery with him, and apparently he's a jerk.
Do you think UCLA?
Apparently, it's hard to get this guy to work on your ankles, but if he does do it, he can save your ankles.
Do you think UCLA getting into the feud with Under Armour is costing them a chance to? If they were still with Under Armour, Steph would hook it up. But then they had the falling out with Under Armour, and that's why all their ankles are falling apart, and they're ruining their season.
It seems
something to consider.
It seems like a karmic response.
It's something to consider.
Yes.
That is just an honorable mention. Is UCLA's? I just thought of that as we were getting ready to do it. This starts the real broad power rankings at number 5. Before I say who number 5 is, I'm going to ask you this, Tate. There are 15 NABC Coach of the Year winners that are active in college basketball. There are 15 guys have been named National Coach of the Year by the NABC, and they are still coaching their teams. I will name 14. I'll go very quickly through the 14. Rick Pitino, Coach K, Tom Izzo, Kelvin Sampson, Bruce Weber, Jay Wright, Bob McKillop, Mike Anderson, Jim Boeheim, Bill Self, Mark Few, Tony Bennett, Matt Painter, Anthony Grant. All those guys still coaching, have been named National Coach of the Year. That list does not include Tubby Smith, who just stepped down at High Point, no longer coaching. And it doesn't include Phil Martelli, who won at St. Joe's, is technically now a head coach, but it's like whatever.
Not official.
Or Jim Herrick, by the way. He won, but he's an assistant now. So whatever. The point is, I could give you 10 million guesses as to the one name I did not mention, who is an active head coach, who was named National Coach of the Year. And I don't think you would guess if you had 10 million guesses. Would you like to take one guess?
Billy Gillespie.
Oh, that's not a bad guess. It is Todd Licklider.
Oh, man.
Who is the head coach of the Evansville Purple Aces. And at number 5 on the fraud power rankings is Todd Licklider. And I'm going to tell you why, because this man in 2007, I believe.
Yeah.
I think it was 2006, 2007, somewhere around there. 2006. 2007. It was 2007 because he Butler. It was 2007. He won. They gave Florida a good game in the NCAA tournament.
That was when they got on the map a little bit. Yeah.
And then he took the Iowa job the next year. That's right. Todd Licklider is the head coach at Evansville, and it is not going well, Tate. This man is the national coach of the year. He just just this week on Wednesday versus Loyola Chicago lost 82-31. The score was 41-12 at halftime. This was the lowest scoring game in the history of Evansville basketball, and it is not an anomaly. This team is very, very bad. They are 6-22 on the season. They were bad before. Todd Licklider took over in 2020 when Walter McCarty had that situation. We'll call it. That situation happens. McCarthy gets fired, or did he leave? He got fired, right?
I think he got fired. Yeah.
I don't know if he.
I don't know what how they do that. It's like some people separate, some people part way. I don't know.
I think he was fired. So Todd Licklider takes over in 2020. He literally does not win a single game. He takes over in January, loses 13 straight games in the season. That's it. Last year they go 9-16, but it was a Mickey Mouse season in MVC because Missouri Valley had the scheduling deal that a lot of schools did, where they play like back to back on. They're just trying to get the games in.
Yeah.
So the 9-16, throw it out, doesn't even count. Fast forward to this year, which by the way, I'm trying to sell 9-16 as though that was like a good season, but it is for the run that he's on. 6-22 this year. Just got blown out by Loyola. I just wanted to call attention to this because Evansville is a team that I'm an Indiana guy, and Evansville is I knew guys that ended up playing at Evansville that were my age that went and had scholarships at Evansville, and I kept tabs on them. And
Licklider's an Indy guy, right?
He's an Indy guy.
Yeah, that's the other hard part about this.
Yeah, my family's known Todd Licklider forever. I think if I'm being completely honest, I think I'm just salty about Todd Licklider not recruiting me to Butler.
Oh, wow.
That's really what it was.
Yeah, so this is coming all back full circle.
He used to coach with my dad at Danville High School, yeah.
And he refused to recruit you?
Yeah.
Disrespect.
The story we were told was that, and this was like before Butler was good. Like this was like the Rise League Butler.
Yeah,
like
this is the Rise.
Yeah, this was like the Rise
League.
This was like my dream was to play at Butler because I'd go watch like Brandon Miller and Darnell Archie and those, like that team that they had that year. I was like, dude, that is sick. That's my kind of basketball right there. It's just they would run the weave. They would just run a weave out top, and then they would just like throw. They would set like they invented the dribble handoff, I think, because they're just running the weave, and then they would hit like Brandon Miller would just like stick his ass out, flip it up to Darnell Archie, and then he'd hit a 35-foot three, and that's how they were winning games. And I was like, that is awesome. I want that.
Sign me up for that.
And Todd Licklider didn't recruit me. And I'm still bitter about it. But anyway,
I think Fran McCaffrey sees Licklider and he's like, don't let that, because Licklider's son was on the team. You know what I mean? Like when I think of Fran McCaffrey, like sometimes I get hit. Like I take what Licklider did at Iowa and I think it's Fran McCaffrey. You know what I mean? So like Fran McCaffrey, it's a cautionary tale for Fran McCaffrey.
Fran McCaffrey could lose, I think, every game the rest of the season and next, and Iowa fans still won't.
Yeah,
think he's as bad as Todd Licklider.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Thank God.
But I think Todd was the only. I think Butler was the only school I never even got any letter whatsoever from.
You are man.
Like recruiting works. Like they just send you like you don't get all. Like I didn't get recruited by Indiana, but like IU did send when I was in 9th grade. They sent you like hey, you want to come to camp type letters.
Yeah.
Never got a thing from Todd. Oh, there was this stat. I wanted to point this out. The Loyola the Loyola loss was so bad. Kevin Sweeney, shout out Kevin Sweeney for this nugget from that game. Loyola senior walk-on Will Alcock, who played 7 minutes in this game, Tate, scored as many points as any Evansville player. The walk-on comes in because it's a blowout, and he scores. He would have been Evansville's leading scorer.
So he should be playing.
He would be starting at Evansville as well. So we got to figure Evansville out. Evansville might be my new coaching destination when I run a campaign to get back.
15-47 is the record.
It's bad. So
you could. I think put Evansville on the list. Missouri Valley Conference.
Brad Stevens to Evansville.
Yeah,
It's in Indiana.
Yeah.
Bring him home.
Bring him home.
2.5 hours away.
I think he wants the UMass job. That's what I heard.
All right, number 4 on the fraud power rankings this week. You'll love this one. This one's for Tate. Paolo Banchero.
Yeah. Finally, someone's gonna call him out. Not me. I mean, I can't call him out because everyone thinks that I'm biased. But man, finally, this guy's not even close to the ACC Player of the Year. Yeah, but go ahead.
Duke beats Virginia in Charlottesville. Gets revenge for the loss at home that they
AJ
suffered. Yeah,
I gotta come up with a song for AJ Griffin.
But for the second time this season, Paolo Banchero gets locked down by Jaden Gardner.
Yeah.
He in game 1 he was 3
East
for
Carolina's
9.
own.
Yeah. In game 1 he's 3 for 9 for 9 points and 4 turnovers. In game 2, this past Wednesday, he's 2 for 13. Paolo is for 8 points, 3 turnovers. He is completely out of the number 1 pick running as well, right? He's got to be.
He's
with Chet and Jabari,
even close.
Not even in the discussion.
He's in the Keegan Murray. He's in the Keegan Murray discussion now.
You're a discussion guy. You're a throw him in the discussion even if it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
He's not even in the discussion.
He's not even in it.
Not even in the conversation.
Close. You know what? He is literally behind AJ Griffin on the big board now. He's not even number 1 on the big board on his own team. It's honestly, it's shocking. And someone reached out to us via the DMs, and who knows but they said they grew up with him in Washington, and that his entire life he was Banchero.
Whoa, is that true?
Yeah, this is what an alleged friend that grew up with him. So, identity crisis, whatever you want to call it. The best prospect on Duke is not Paolo Banchero.
Yeah, the best prospect is not the best prospect. Paolo's definitely. I mean, with the way Chet Holmgren's been playing lately,
Chet's number 1.
Chet's number 1.
Told you.
We've come full circle.
It's number 1. Paolo,
21 points, 15 rebounds.
Yeah,
and 6 blocks at San Francisco.
And he changes Gonzaga's they're a vertical team now.
Rothstein tweeted that Chet Holmgren is Michael Vick of college basketball
and deleted it. Jim was doing the research, crunching the numbers for us. He deleted the tweet, which comes who called him out? Who said that was? I mean, everybody.
Literally everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever read. But I love that he deleted. He should have kept it up.
But Chet has elevated himself to that level though, to where Paolo is
Michael Vick of basketball.
Yeah. Paolo is done with, right? I think anybody doing like an NBA draft discussion and you're saying it's a 3-man race, because that's what it was. I mean, last month, 6 weeks ago when we were talking about the number 1 pick, you're like, yeah, it's 1 of 3 guys. It's Paolo, it's Jabari, it's Chet. Take your pick.
Yeah.
Paolo probably wasn't the favorite, but you throw him in the conversation. He is very much out of the conversation. And if anybody's saying it's a 3-horse race at this point, that you're obviously not paying attention.
2 days ago, ESPN wrote an article how the big 3 of Chet Holmgren, Paolo Banchero, and Jabari Smith are battling for the number 1 pick.
See,
that was 2 days ago. That was ridiculous when it was written, but now
someone needs to get in that article.
Even more egregious.
Throw an editor's note at the top. We
apologize. We are going to change the header. Also, Paolo Banchero, I don't know, Jim probably saw this. He became the first active college basketball player to appear in 2K. And guess what his rating was, Jim?
88.
95. Higher than Kevin Durant.
That's good.
Higher than DeMar DeRozan. Higher than Nikola Jokic.
How does this work? So you're saying he's a college, like, how do you mean?
He
can play with him
as officially, not like someone made him and then uploaded the rosters and you downloaded it.
But what team is he on?
He's just a guy in the game. Like, he's just
a free agent.
Just probably has an Ignite jersey on, if I had to guess, or probably a Duke jersey.
He should be a 99 because he's like the Mike Vick of
Who's the?
But that's real. He really is in the game. He's the first active college basketball player to be in NBA 2K, and he's rated 95.
Oh my God!
So in that sense,
Paolo's more the Cam Newton, I would say. Chet's the Mike Vick.
Yeah, Chet's Mike Vick.
Yeah, and Jabari Smith is
Andrew Luck.
Charlie Ward. Andrew Luck.
Do you think Rothstein got hacked again?
I hope
That's
so.
what that was.
I hope so. It'd be great if like
Someone's
that's what his
tweeting about Mike
excuse
Vick.
is whenever he has that.
If I ever hacked Rothstein's account, that's what I would do. I wouldn't try to like make money or
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like
The
click on
worst
this link
takes.
for a free PlayStation.
Choose, yeah.
I would tweet things that are things like within the realm of what Rothstein would say, but are
Yeah.
like 20% more insane. That's what I would do.
Honestly,
If-
Mike Vick compared to Chet Holmgren is probably the most insane thing you could ever see. Like, I don't even know how you go.
Did he
more
mean like
insane.
Mike Vick playing baseball, like when he was like drafted to like, the
I
Rockies?
genuinely don't see one thing that is similar between
Maybe he
Michael
meant
Vick
Marcus
and Chet Holmgren.
You mean Marcus Vick?
I don't know, but he deleted it, so we'll move on.
Moving on. Number 3 on the fraud power rankings is something I feel very passionate about, and I understand
Yeah.
how old it's going to make me sound, but I think most of our listeners will agree with me on this.
Todd Looklighter.
Todd Licklider yet again. Number 3 is teams wearing dark jerseys at home.
Yeah, this is true. I agree.
This
with
I don't know how this happened, when this happened, how like
I
the floodgates are open.
I
dude.
blame football.
This is happening every single game. This happened
Yeah.
3 games I watched last night.
Yeah.
This was Ohio State wore white jerseys in Champaign because Illinois wanted to do orange out. UCLA wore their road jerseys, but then Oregon had their black jerseys on
Yeah.
in Eugene for that game for no apparent reason. And then Arizona was wearing their black jerseys and Arizona was wearing white, and they were playing in Salt Lake City. It makes no sense, Tate. I reached my breaking point when I was watching Ohio State, Indiana, and Ohio State was wearing black jerseys, or the gray, like the dark gray, and Indiana's wearing the crimson. And unless you just have like perfect I have good vision, and I still couldn't. I know all the guys on the team, so I know.
Yeah, you know who's who.
If there's anybody on
Yeah.
planet Earth that could suss out both of those teams, it should be me. And I was still struggling with it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I don't know how we got here as a college. Like college basketball is turning into the NBA. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Stick to the white jerseys at home. Who started this trend?
The NBA.
Somebody answered.
College
like,
football. Nike.
well, college football's always been that way.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Now college football has leaked over in college basketball because if you look at the SEC, it's like all these great college basketball coaches are now at football schools. It seeps over, the culture seeps over toward you. And then looking at Nike, I mean, they want to sell more jerseys. They've
That's what
done
it
this
is.
in the
Nike.
NBA.
It's Phil Knight.
Yeah, Phil
Number
Knight.
three is Phil
Phil
Knight.
Knight.
Phil Knight.
Thank you.
It's ridiculous.
The PK85 this fall, though. We're going to be there.
Oh my god.
We'll ask him this November. Phil Knight, why are you ruining jerseys at home and continuity and history? And
I think it's too like these like social media people, the people that run social media accounts for
Want the new
fan
jerseys.
experiences for these teams want to do like the whiteouts played out. Like everyone's done a whiteout.
yeah,
What if we did a blackout? What if we did an orange out? What if we did a
yeah.
It's like, no, dude. What if we stuck with a system that works? The system works. You wear
I
white
thought you
at
were going
home.
to say, let's stick with the whiteout. I was like, I don't think that's it.
No, the system like I don't know. It's preposterous. It's preposterous.
Just wear
'Cause
your
if you get
home
a situation-
jerseys. Just wear your home jersey.
You get a situation where like Indiana's like, we have 2 jerseys, dude. We have a white jersey and we have a crimson jersey.
Yeah.
We are not wearing the white on the road. So like we're gonna wear like in Ohio State's like we want to do and Indiana's like, fine, do it. We're wearing
Yeah.
what happened to the system, dude? The system work. This is my this is what makes me go nuts as I get
It
older.
goes
It's like,
back to the leadership void that we were talking about. Who is going to lead these kids?
I don't mind change. Change is okay, Tate. What I
Right?
mind is we have to have a system that works.
Yeah.
The system is broken when you're wearing dark jerseys at home. The system of wearing white jerseys at home is not broken. It's worked for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Yeah. It's about as insane as tweeting that Michael Vick is similar to Chet Holmgren.
Isn't the system though that if you're home you can wear either
No.
whatever jersey you want?
No, the system is,
think it is.
that's what the system has become. Yeah.
No, I think that's always what it was.
It was never that. It was always white.
It was you had the option to do that, but you would never do that because that would break.
I don't think you
everything.
did have the option to do that. I think,
Probably didn't
like,
have the option.
Dude, if
I
in
think you have the
19
option.
if it,
It's America. You always have the option, but yeah,
you can wear whatever you want.
if in 1991 North Carolina came out of the tunnel wearing black jerseys,
I would throw up.
if the whole arena would have stood up and walked out.
No, we would have been like,
It
we're not watching Duke play.
was- yeah.
Boo.
Oh my god. Anyway,
No, you're
me-
right.
gets
You're
me
right.
fired up.
Number 3.
number 2 on the fraud power rankings this week is Kofi Coburn's National Player of the Year trophy.
Yeah, it's over.
It's over. It's dead. It's
Yeah.
done.
I
12
think it's Big Ten Player of the Year.
12 points and
Trophy.
3 rebounds
Yeah.
against Ohio State. And we've made the case before that when Kofi Coburn goes up against a guy that's just as big as him, he's ineffective. he wasn't even against a guy as big as him. He was against Zed Key and Kyle Young, and he the bad Tate.
Yeah.
It's over. It's done. And beyond that, Brad Underwood in the post-game press conference killed any hope that Kofi Coburn has for winning any sort of individual award. When he was talking about Malaki Branham, and he said, quote, "I think they have the best player in our league," talking about Ohio State, and his name's not E.J. Liddell. So Brad Underwood believes that Malaki Branham is the best player in the Big Ten, which how can you say that Kofi Coburn is the best player in the country if he's not even the best player in the Big Ten?
Well, Johnny Davis, I think, is going to win Big Ten Player of the Year, right?
Yes. Johnny Davis.
And now he is probably the best to then go on to win National Player of the Year. So that is why, I mean, that's really why Kofi's out of it, because of Johnny Davis, you know? I mean,
Kofi's out of it because of Kofi.
Yeah, I mean,
this is what I'm trying to tell Illinois fans. Stop blaming everybody else. Say,
no, I'm with you, Illinois.
Stop pointing at the only reason he's out is because the only reason he's out is because Kofi Coburn is not the best player in the country. It has never been the best player in the country.
Not best player in the country.
Stop it.
Could have been the best player in the Big Ten if not for Johnny Davis.
I could have been the best player in the Big Ten if not for all the players that were better than me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stop blaming it on everyone else.
I love you, Kofi. I wanted him to do it.
Oh my God!
But he's a good number 2 on the fraud power ranking. It's over.
All right, number 1. We're gonna move past that because I want to get to the real issue of what's going on with this show right now, which is that Tate is slowly descending into a pit of madness. And we haven't really talked about it much on the show, but like Jim and I were talking before you got here that we need an intervention. That Tate is unraveling. Number 1 on the fraud power rankings is the bubble.
Yeah,
and you think I'm agreeing with you?
No, regardless, I'm just glad it's on there.
It's not on there because
I'm just glad it's on there because the bubble's the biggest fraud in sports.
The bubble, as we sit today, as the calendar's about to turn to March, the bubble is considered strong, I believe, by the people,
which is problem number 1. But continue.
We know this from our good friend Mike Rutherford loves pointing this out, that every year they find a way to say that the bubble is historically weak. And he laughs at that because he's like, of course it's weak. It's the bubble. That's how it works.
Thank you, Mike.
It's literally called a bubble. Like, how can it be strong? This year it feels like people aren't saying it's strong, but you're not hearing people say the bubble is weak. And part of the reason you're not hearing people say the bubble is weak is because teams on the bubble include North Carolina, Indiana, Memphis, Michigan, Oregon, all these teams that like
should be in the tournament.
All these teams coming into the season had a certain level of expectation. I think all of them were ranked at one. I don't think Indiana was ever ranked, but they were knocking on the door.
They got votes.
Yeah, they got a lot of votes
in the conversation. Polling.
So all of these teams are very, very good on paper, and you can talk yourself into them being a good team if they can just pull it together, whatever. False. The bubble is not strong. All of these teams suck ass. And you know how I know they suck ass, Tate? I've been watching them all season. They're all terrible. The bubble is weak. The bubble is just as weak as it is every year. That's why I'm putting the bubble on number 1 on the fraud power rankings. It is not a good bubble. The bubble's a fraud.
Yeah, because Carolina's not on the bubble; they're in the tournament. And in fact, if you look at the metrics, based on where they are right now, they would be based on precedent that's been set since 2019. What's driving me crazy about this, sincerely, is that people are basing things that literally have been in function, in reality, happening since 2019, as if it's the effing Bible that was written 4 million years ago.
Can I stop you there? Jim and I literally have no idea what you're talking about because we haven't been living in this world of like you sussing out numbers and you're like, whatever.
You know what I learned is that the main thing that really matters is the amount of margin of loss. That is like the real big factor in these stupid effing formulas. And who cares about your efficiency margins? I could give a crap. I've never heard anyone ever talk about that to me about basketball. Yet I'm in the mud arguing with these people about things I could care less about. And my whole point is that North Carolina is currently, in my mind, a 10 seed or maybe even a 9 seed. And I'm not even on the bubble. And stop talking to me about the bubble. I don't want to hear about the bubble. And I'm going to smack someone else that brings up the bubble. 20-8, 12-5 in the ACC. Explain this to me. How can Duke be knocking on the door as a 1 seed? How is this team not going to be a 1 seed? Oh my goodness, this team. They are 1.5 games up on North Carolina in the conference. What? 1.5 games? Yet they should be a 1 seed, and the team that's 1.5 games back should be out of the tournament. Make it make sense. It makes no sense. And if someone else brings up efficiency margins to me, I'm going to Juwan Howard them. I'm going to have to. So,
2 things.
Yeah.
Tate,
yeah.
It's not your fault.
No, I'm
It's okay.
Right.
I'm literally yelling at like statisticians online. They're like, you're not wrong. This is how they start. They're like, you're not wrong. I'm like, don't tell me I'm not wrong. I don't want to hear it.
It's not
I
your
don't
fault. We
Tate
care
has
about
got-
you. We're concerned about your
Tate has
behavior
got-
online. And if you look at the efficiency margins of Duke and North Carolina,
He's
you'll
going to get
understand.
smacked. He's going to get smacked.
He's gotten into more fights with 14-year-olds in the last week.
No, these are like 40-year-olds that are like trying to, tell me about college basketball with numbers. And I'm fine with numbers. I like numbers.
Okay.
I like numbers. I like numbers.
So what is the case for Carolina? If so, let's not do numbers. Let's do eye test. Make the case for Carolina based on the eye test.
I
They
don't
beat
even like
Michigan?
this team.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
don't even like this team.
That's what I don't
Get him
understand.
out of the
All I care about is don't disrespect my university. Don't disrespect my program. And also, if Duke was 20-8 and 12-5 in conference, they'd be a fucking 3 seed. You know what I mean? So like, I'm just trying to get a little bit of blue blood respect. That's all I am. I'm like Rodney Dangerfield out here. I'm yelling for respect. I'm getting none. And then I got people. Well, actually.
Well, I think.
Oh my God.
I think the problem is
Driving me insane. And you know what? Carolina's probably going to lose to State on Saturday, and then they'll be off the bubble, and I'll be done with it. I mean, you know what I mean? Like that would honestly be a relief to me.
But why? But then why are you fighting so hard for them to be in?
Because they're currently in right now, yet everyone keeps talking about the bubble.
But
Bill
okay,
Walton
so
said
they're
the
in.
game
But
last
how are
night.
they in? How are they? Like, what is the case? You're saying you don't want to talk numbers.
20-8. They're 12-5.
If you don't want to talk numbers, then why are
They
you using
beat
numbers?
Michigan by 20 points. No, I'm giving you the numbers because I'm tired of the people throwing numbers at me, so I'm throwing numbers back.
They were boat raced by Pittsburgh
Oh my God. I mean,
at home.
how dare they lose one game? Also, Wake Forest has one quad one win. I haven't heard anyone say that about Wake Forest.
I haven't
You
heard
know what I
anybody. This is the point. This is why we do the ACC update. I haven't heard anybody talk about any ACC team. All
Wake
season.
Forest is in the tournament, according to all the bracket people. They've only had one quad one win. Carolina hasn't lost to bad teams other than Pittsburgh, but yet everyone, I guess, watched that game. Congratulations, that was on their radar that day. The only games that people have watched at Carolina is the Duke game when they got blown out, and the Pittsburgh game, as far as I can tell. And all I'm yelling is they still won 20
Kentucky.
games.
What
outside
about when
of
they got
that.
blown out by Kentucky?
I don't think anyone watched that because they shouldn't have played that game. They shouldn't have played that game. That was a rescheduled game. All that to say, the bubble's the worst place in sports. Literally.
This is broken Tate.
No, it's the worst place in sports, and it's so bad that I refuse to be a part of it, and I would rather lose than be on the bubble. I'd rather be out of the tournament, out of the conversation, a la Duke last year, even though somehow they were on the bubble at 13-11. They were on the bubble.
Duke
last year.
Didn't miss the tournament. They
opted out.
They opted out
because
because of COVID. Yeah.
My God, if someone else says that to me, I'm gonna smack.
Did they not? Did they not? They didn't even play in the ACC tournament. They opted out.
Regardless, get me off the bubble. Either beat me so that it's done, or Carolina win the rest of the games, and then I'm really gonna go crazy on all these people. If Carolina beats Duke next Saturday, which I'm gonna watch Home
You
Alone.
think they're in?
Oh my God, they should be a 5 seed.
Well,
to beat Duke, according to these people and their value of Duke. All right, I'm done. I'm done
well,
yelling
I mean,
about the bubble.
if you beat Duke, you're obviously in. So you will. I don't.
Oh my
think it'd be a
God, they're
problem.
not gonna beat Duke.
It
They're gonna
depends on
lose
the
to State
margin.
tomorrow, and then it'll be over.
If you lose the state, you're out.
Good,
You're definitely
be out.
If you lose to
All I'm saying is
Syracuse at home, you're probably out.
take me out of the conversation about the bubble. I will never entertain it. Either I'm out or I'm in. I will not be in between.
But then why do you? Why?
Because right now they're
why-
in, but people are telling me I'm on the bubble. That's what I'm arguing.
But why? If you hate this team and you realize like even if they make it in, they're going to lose in the playing game.
Because we've made 10 straight tournaments, and we continue we're the longest active streak. We continue the streak, but at the same time, I don't believe in this team, and they've had 5 strikes. I'm done. I'm done. But I will.
Jim,
I
does
will
this-
What if they opt out?
Huh?
What if they opt out?
I'm fine with
Jim,
that.
does this logic track at all for you, Jim?
It does.
That, like this team has 5 strikes. He hates them.
Yes.
He can't stand to watch Carrot. He can't stomach it.
They got
But
blown
then-
out a bunch.
Yeah, they've got blown out of. Talk to me about numbers. Talk to me about eye
Talk
test,
to me
but
about
also-
20-8,
test.
But don't-
12-5 in the ACC. 1.5 games back of Duke. 1.5 games
ACC
back of
is
Duke.
garbage.
How can Duke be
How much
a
did
1
Duke beat them
seed?
by?
Yeah.
Literally, Oh my God. Duke could have lost every game at home if you actually watch Duke. But nobody does. They just watch headlines. All right, but that's the end of my rant. I hate the bubble. Can we just agree on that? I literally hate the
I think this is about Coach K retiring and that you're just anxious.
Oh man.
You're taking
He's
it
coming,
out.
He's
And you're
coming.
worried. You're just
in the
like, you don't
group
know what you're
chat,
gonna
in
do.
the group chat with Jim and me and Tate just will like I'll just like wake up and there'll be like 2 texts from Tate and it's just like tweets from like people that are doing Carolina. It's like at Carolina's biggest fan, and then you're like, dude, it'll be a tweet that's like a blind resume, and then Tate will be like, dude, look at this. Can you believe this? And then it's like Carolina
not
versus
wrong.
SMU or something. And SMU's like not even in the tournament.
SMU should be in the tournament. That's what I'm also arguing. There's so many teams.
Tate has become Dickie V.
No,
Dickie V doesn't have a voice right now, so Tate's becoming
San
Dickie V.
Francisco is on the bubble. Okay, like they're on the bubble. I'll tell you who's on the bubble. But North Carolina is in the tournament.
San Francisco's on the bubble.
They're on the
not in
right side of the bubble. They're on the right side of the bubble. But that's a bubble team.
Who's
that
a
we're
bubble
talking
team
about.
that doesn't belong in? Who's not in? Who's definitively not
Memphis.
in?
I
Okay.
mean,
All right.
no way they should.
I
be
agree with
in.
that.
Michigan, no way they should be in. No, get them out of here. They have no.
They're
no
gonna
business.
take care of themselves anyway because they're good. You know.
I get it.
they're
The Big
falling
10,
apart,
the vaunted Big 10. How dare we? They haven't won a title this century, but how dare we talk about how great they are all the
Yeah.
time? Yeah.
I agree.
But
I agree because North Carolina won titles in
Yeah.
1982. We should
10 of the last 20
North
titles from the
Carolina
ACC, but no respect for the conference.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do, but the bubble is a farce. The people that are on the bubble that make up the bubble, the worst people in the world. Literally, there's a
makes up the
movie, the
bubble?
worst
Who
person
in
in
your
the world
mind-
out right now, and my answer would be the bubble.
Who makes up the bubble?
It's just kind of like who makes up the NCAA. It's a lot of people making bad decisions.
Do you think North Carolina's in?
They're not. They're 100% not. If the tournament started today, if the selection Sunday was today, I don't think North
You
Carolina.
think they're not a 9
Well-
or a 10, or you don't even think they're in? You don't
No,
think they're
I
in the
think
bubble?
they would be.
So that means the ACC got 3 teams in. Is what
The
you're
way they would get in,
the
is,
ACC is going to get 3 teams in the tournament.
I
You
think
that?
so. The ACC
Wow.
sucks, dude.
Oh my god.
This is why we do the ACC update. Nobody.
Oh my god.
You've had one ranked team the entire season.
If the ACC gets 3 teams,
And they're
in
not
the
even that
tournament,
good.
RIP to the NCAA tournament.
I think
RIP.
Carolina. I'm gonna give you this tip, Tate, because you don't know how the bubble works. But I've watched a lot of.
That's the other thing I learned. It's a lot of people that like know the bubble, and I'm like, man, that must be a terrible life to do.
It is.
I'm a bubble
It is.
expert.
Yes.
Bubble boy.
My God, you literally, it's a bunch of them, bunch of bubble boys yelling at me inside their bubble.
Blog boys and bubble boys.
Man, and I got away from the blog boys, and then all of a sudden, here come the bubble boys.
Well,
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
it is a terrible existence. That's why they're trying to tell you. They're trying to warn you of what's to come.
That's why I say I'm not a part of it. I'm
But
not
they're the
party to it.
experts, so they
I'm
know.
either in or
Listen
out.
to them.
I'm either in or out. I don't hedge.
They live in the bubble. They know.
Yeah.
So you should listen to
know.
them.
You should listen.
Heed
I'm
their
out.
advice.
I'm out.
You got to watch for the bid stealers. You got to watch these small conference tournaments now.
I'm over it.
He's over it. He's over it.
No, I go win the NIT. I mean, like I literally, we'll start our own
Carolina?
tournament. We'll start our own tournament. Oh man, Coach K. And
ACC
Coach K's
tournament?
last
Are they on the
year-
bubble in the ACC tournament?
I
at this
mean,
point?
I think at this point I'm gonna have to spin it where like the NCAA committee should put Carolina in, and they should be the 8 or 9 seed, and Duke should be the 1 seed, and they play Duke in the second round.
8 or 9.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's what I'll give them. That's my deal. The final offer.
The bubble boys say they're
Carolina's
not
an
even a
8-9
16.
game, and they're playing Duke, who can be a 1 seed. They want Duke to be a 1 seed. Duke can be a 1 seed.
Oh my God.
I'm just next Saturday. I'm just praying to the good Lord that He finally does something good. You know what I mean? Finally, like
Okay.
smites down. Yes, exactly.
What else is going on in the ACC? Tell the people what we've missed.
Three
on the
three
ACC.
teams are getting in the tournament. That's what I learned.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. I mean, honestly,
RIP NCAA tournament.
yeah. I mean, Duke's the best team by far in the ACC, according to the experts, and then everyone else doesn't matter. That's the ACC update. That's what I learned
Long
from the
live
media.
By the way, I don't know if you've realized this. I don't think our listeners certainly know this. Tate's birthday falls on Selection Sunday this year.
Oh, I know.
Oh, that'll be good.
Yeah,
So-
I am March Madness.
You put the med
Yeah.
in this.
I know it's gonna be sad. I mean, if they disrespect my program, I mean, I'm literally, I might just call out everybody if they get if Carolina is a 22-win team and they lose to Duke and they make it to the quarterfinals or semifinals of the AC tournament and doesn't make the tournament, that's erroneous on all accounts. It's a fact.
What do you, Jim? What do you think is the funnier for people that listen to us and watch us?
It'll be funny.
What will be the funnier moment to look back on? Me watching Oral Roberts from Ohio State live on the air, or Tate watching North Carolina not make the tournament on his birthday live on the air?
That'd be fantastic.
Oh my god!
If they
with Seth Davis reporting it to me, that's like the worst part about it.
And nobody, because you know this is gonna happen too. Carolina doesn't make it. There's not gonna be a soul fighting for them. Like Dickie V will think everybody. Bad example because Dickie V is off television for now. But whoever the Dickie V is, it's like everybody belongs in. Let's put 112 teams in a 68 team field. No one will mention Carolina as like
no one wants them in.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like
it is true. Carolina has been.
I feel like I am a solo soldier on the battlefield, and there's literally no one around.
Go North Carolina's way.
I mean, not in 5 years.
If they're in the first 4 and they lose in the first 4, was that a win for you?
If they're in Dayton, I'm just like I might not even watch. I mean.
Oh, they're in the. So you think they're in, like, when you say I need to know how
they're a 9, 10, or 11 seed right now.
In the ACC tournament.
At worst, they're an 11 seed in the playing game. At worst, and even that is egregious. That's egregious. But I get it. No respect for the ACC, and hey, I'm just over the bubble talk. I'm just like, I don't even put them in the tournament. Don't even talk to me about the bubble. I fought the good fight. And like I said, I don't even like this team. I don't even like this team. And I fought the good fight.
And I like the guys.
Their best win, they beat Michigan
by 20. Blew them out.
Everybody's blown up.
Where are the efficiency margins in? That's what I'm yelling about. Why won't the efficiency?
But Michigan's on the bubble, right? Michigan's on the bubble, or they're just not even.
No, they're telling me Michigan's in. They're telling me Lenardi's has them.
Well, they are Big Ten.
Oh my God. Let's move on. Shout out to closeouts.
North Carolina's a football school.
Thank you. I mean, that's the only thing I have to look forward to. But now NC State's top 5 team preseason. You see this in football?
NC State is?
Yeah. So they're the real football school.
What?
Yeah.
They're top 5 in football.
Preseason. Not like it
next
matters.
year?
Yeah.
Who says this? That's not even kind of true.
ESPN.
That's what?
Dude. NC State.
Where do you get your news?
From Evan Mayakawa. That's where I get my information.
Let's get the hell out of here. Shout out to closeouts.
Oh man, shout out to NBA basketball coming back last night. It was not great, and college basketball trumped it last night. So I just want to shout out to college basketball winning the culture war. A lot of good games last night, and the Brooklyn Nets just to bet again. So
meanwhile, like everyone that runs college basketball wants to make it more like the NBA. Seemingly,
yes.
We got to keep moving the 3-point line back. We got to
number 3 on the for all power rankings.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. There you
let's
go.
mix up the jersey. Like let's make college look more like the NBA, and then the NBA looks at their TV ratings and they're like, how do we should do something. Like, no one really. And I saw the Daryl Morey floated the idea of what if the NBA just took the NCAA tournament model for the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen, obviously, but like the fact that they're like throwing that out there is
they're like, we need interest.
Yeah,
and
the NBA is like, we should be more like college. Look at what college is doing. That's how people get interested. Let's do that. And college is like, we should do more of the NBA stuff.
College is like, should we do a play-in tournament? Carolina's gonna be in the play-in tournament. Oh my God,
maybe.
Maybe. Oh my God,
they got to win out the rest of the season.
I want to shout out Kentucky who beat North Carolina by 1,000 when they played them, but they also they beat Alabama and LSU without their 2 guards, and
they're my national title pick.
Kentucky is they we watched Xavier Wheeler and Ty Washington at Auburn at LSU. They both go dead, like it was eerily similar games, and Kentucky falls apart without those guys. And it was a situation where you're like, we want to believe in Kentucky, but also Ty Washington seems to get hurt every single game, and like, is this gonna catch up to them? they still need Ty Washington if they're going to win a national championship, obviously. But the fact that they beat Alabama and LSU without both of those guys is a great sign that like when they do have those dudes healthy, they're going to be awesome. They got Arkansas this.
Kellen Grady is the X factor, whatever you want to call it, of that team. I think Kellen Grady, he's got his confidence back. Remember we saw him last year at Davidson, and we were like, this guy is.
He looked tired. He just looked like I can't. Look, everyone wants me to be Steph Curry, and I can't be that.
Yeah,
please stop.
Yeah, please stop making me run around screens and all that sort of stuff. He found like who he is as a player at Kentucky.
I just want to like hit open shots, basically.
Yes,
and that's what he gets to do at Kentucky.
Exactly, because he's like no one's all over me 24/7.
Yeah. I want to shout out Murray State for breaking Belmont in half.
I think Murray State should be a 2-3-4 range.
We gotta have Tate like before Selection Sunday. We need Tate to give us his bracket.
If Murray State was a 2 seed, I wouldn't have any. I wouldn't say.
You can't just say these. Like we gotta have. Okay, so how many 1 seeds do you have? Who are your 1 seeds? Who are your 2 seeds? Who are your 3? Like we need to see it spelled out. You got to do your own.
Then I'm in the middle. Then I'm in the game with the Bubble Boys. Now I'm playing the Bubble Boy game. I'm not hanging out with the Bubble Boys.
He's gonna be that Charlie from Always Sunny meme or whatever.
Pretty much.
Oh my God. Murray State won though 76-43. Belmont's a team that's like they're not making the tournament, but there was a path-ish. I don't know, not really, but like
yeah,
you know, they still if you're in Belmont's locker room, you were talking yourself into like if we beat Murray State, we can go on a run here
and get
at large, maybe.
Yeah.
And so like that's my way of saying Belmont is like very motivated. They're a very good team. This was a desperation situation for Belmont, and Murray State wiped the floor with them. KJ Williams at 30. Shout out Murray State. Shout out my father too, who as Indiana lost 5 in a row, was telling me he's back on the Belmont bandwagon. And then Indiana beats Maryland last night. Belmont gets blown out. He just said he sent me. He texted me after Indiana beat Maryland. He just said Hoosiers are back. He goes, I love Xavier Johnson too, which is a guy that he's like been pulling his hair out over.
Well, against Maryland. Indiana's in my tournament. They're not even on the bubble. They're in.
We gotta like get NBA 2K and or
no, it's the eye test.
Whatever basketball video game there is, Jim, and create all these teams.
Tate's tournament.
Create Tate's tournament.
Yeah,
like all the teams that he would put in.
It would be so much better than the NCAA tournament. Based on what the Bubble Boys are telling me, it would be so much better. I mean,
Tate loves shitty basketball.
No. We'll take the blue blood.
Why would but for those of us that are neutral fans, why would you subject us to North Carolina in the tournament? Like we want to watch like a fun team that's like
I like high ceilings. That's a high ceiling team and also a very, very low floor. Roof. Yeah. Like a path that they just fall. Can I shout out the Coach K farewell tour? Tony Bennett deciding to go full class, gives Coach K his own plaque. And then after the game, even though ACC 3-bid league, Coach K said it would be a sin, quote, a sin if Virginia was not in the NCAA tournament.
Nice. Did he say that about North Carolina too?
No, he did not.
Oh, interesting.
But Virginia, three spots behind North Carolina in the ACC ranking. So,
but North Carolina didn't give Coach K any sort of any recognition.
No.
So he didn't say anything about interesting. Classless.
Yeah.
It'd be great if Coach K was the Twitter people that are fighting with you online.
That would be
He's also hacking John Rothstein. Just like this is Coach
if I found out that
himself.
Coach K was actually Joe Lunardi behind the scenes, that would be great. That would be awesome. But shout out to Tony Bennett. I think Tony Bennett figured it out. He's like, I'm going to go class all the way. And therefore, you have the upper hand. So shout out to him.
Is Virginia has no shot whatsoever.
Coach K said it would be a sin if they didn't make the tournament, which I asked him to do. I asked him to stick his neck out for the ACC. I'm glad he did it.
Well, is Coach K your moral compass? Like what
no, man, in this sense, he's right. I don't ever say Coach K is right. It would be an absolute sin if they don't make the tournament.
Who's better?
Virginia?
If Virginia doesn't make the tournament, it would be a sin. If Carolina doesn't make the tournament, the world should end. Those are the degrees of impact.
I just like we love you and we want you what's best for you, and I guess like we just need you to understand that like Virginia is not making the tournament and North Carolina is probably not making.
Tell
the tournament.
Coach K that. That's what I'm saying. Tell Coach K that.
Virginia might though.
I thought it was Coach K's final year and we're going to honor his wishes, and instead we're defying him and not doing what he wants, and I don't think that's right. I don't know. I never thought I would be on Coach K's side, but here I am. arguing for the
Virginia.
ACC.
Does Coach K look at the efficiency margins, or is that...
yeah. Is Coach K?
I wish
crunching
someone
numbers?
would give that to Coach K just to see what he would say, because it'd be a lot worse than what
He
I
knows them. He's got it all up here. He knows everything, dude.
I want to shout out. Speaking of Coach K, did you see he called into Jim Boeheim's radio show?
Mike from Durham.
Yeah.
I'm up.
That's
I'm
awesome.
up on what Coach K's up to. In fact, I got his book. Ian O'Connor wrote the book. I got the book, and
You did?
I'm reading the book.
You buy the book?
I
or
bought
you
the
did-
book.
You did. Wow.
Bought the book.
Wow.
I supported Coach K because he said it'd be a sin if Virginia doesn't get in, which ipso facto it would be a crime if Carolina doesn't get in.
I want to shout out Isaiah Brockington of Iowa State, who's averaging 26 points per game Tate,
Wow.
in his last 4.
There you go.
Shooting 69% from 3 in those games.
Oh my goodness.
He's lighting it up. Iowa State's on a 3-game win streak. Iowa State's a team that we haven't really talked much about after their hot start, and then they got the Big 12 play, and it sort of
Yeah.
didn't work out as well for them. But they're still playing good basketball, and yeah, shout out to them. So there you go. We speak your name, Isaiah.
We speak your name. Yeah, I like that. That's a good
We
one.
speak your name. Also, speaking of Iowa State, Fred Hoiberg. We got word this week that he is in fact not on the hot seat. He's going to be back in Nebraska. They restructured his contract. And he's going to
Yeah.
be back next year.
I was gonna
Shout
say-
out to Fred Hoiberg for
Yeah.
that.
Well, they restructured the contract, so right, it went from the buyout was like 19 million, and
Yeah.
now the buyout is like 11 million.
I think the logic or the thought process I think for Nebraska fans is that they are trying to save money to then throw at Scott Frost. Maybe that's it. Like
Oh
you can't fire Fred Hoiberg and Scott Frost. Let's figure out a way to fire Scott Frost. Right?
I guess so. How long has Scott Frost been? Like with me, Nebraska, like I remember when the coaches get hired, and then I'm
Yeah.
like, that's a pretty good move, I think. And then, I look up and it's been 5 years and they've done nothing. So Scott Frost has been there long enough where they're like,
I think so.
We're done with
But
this
I
guy.
mean, like, I don't know. Nebraska was the best 3-win football team in the history. They really were this year.
yeah.
They really were. Like, they were in every single game and then they would lose. They were whatever the opposite of Providence basketball is. That was Nebraska football this year. They were,
Yeah.
like,
It went the
hanging
other way.
hanging around.
They're the unluckiest team.
We just need one big play, right? And we
It's
lost.
gone. Yeah.
And it's over.
Yeah, you're right. That checks out.
Fred Hoiberg, though, will be back on the sidelines for Nebraska ball next year. So pop the champagne, Cornhuskers. Another year
He's
for
back, baby.
Hoiberg basketball.
Boy, ball.
Is there anything else? Jim, you got anything?
No,
Any
I think
shout-outs?
That's about it.
You got anything else?
No, I apologize for freaking out about the bubble, but it's it got me. It got me yesterday.
Your bubble has been wanting to burst, and I've seen it, and I've seen like you start to rise this level. So I thought today it would be nice. You just let it happen. Now you can take a deep breath.
Out.
Yeah.
We can watch North Carolina play NC State on Saturday.
No, they'll lose that game. They beat Syracuse. They're going to lose to State or Syracuse. I don't know which one. They're going to be completely out of the tournament, and then they're going to beat Duke.
Are we doing a show Saturday tomorrow? We're doing a show, right? We're gonna
Yep.
watch the games. There's a
We're watching it at Tate's
there's a
mental
top
hospital, wherever
10
it ends up
tilt.
tomorrow night.
Yeah, exactly. Top 10 till tomorrow.
top 10 tilt
Can't wait.
in Waco, Kansas at Baylor. That's the game.
Top
10 tilt.
I wish it was at the dunk.
Oh, I want to shout out. I went and saw Jackass. I saw the new Jackass.
Oh yeah,
Shout out to
I haven't
that.
seen it. It was a good.
So good, dude.
I heard the new cast people weren't the best. But
Yeah,
yeah.
the new cat. I was there's one guy. I won't even say his name to you because if you want to see it, like his name is part of the fun. Like they introduce him, you're like, what's his name? He was awesome. Loved him. He felt like he's
was
been
he the
around.
surfer guy? The guy who
I
can't,
think so.
it's
Yeah.
like Poopsie or something.
Poopsies, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
Poopsies.
yeah,
That's his name.
yeah.
They introduced him as Poopsies. and I was
Yeah,
like,
because
what?
he's like the Steve-O of this like surf group.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I kind of knew who.
He was awesome. He fit in. The other new guys, like it was hit or miss with some of them, but the movie is amazing.
need to
and
see
it
it.
made me very nostalgic. It honestly made me like a little sad, like not sad in a happy way. Like I was like, it's so nice to see all these guys. Like it's just
Having
a story about
fun.
friends that
Yeah.
have grown up together and been around it all. I don't know. So I was in my feelings about all that
Yeah.
as you're watching like the most perverse things ever.
Jackass forever.
The other thing I was gonna say, I went and saw it at AMC, and I don't know. Have you been to an AMC theater in the last however many months? Where they got
Honestly,
these.
no.
AMC runs this thing before the movie starts where Nicole Kidman comes out, and she's like, it's typical Hollywood bullshit. her just like talking about how important movies are and like
Yeah.
where would it be a society without
Without film.
art and film.
Yeah.
It's just you say film and cinema instead of like
Yeah.
theaters and movies, you know. It's that sort of bull. And she's just going on and on about like movies move us. They're the cinema, the art of, you know. And it's on and on. And that's like the final thing you see before the movie starts. So you're watching that and then it cuts to
the music is
and it's like all the jackass dudes doing most insane.
Yeah.
I was laughing at that juxtaposition. So it was so good. So anyway, if you're anyone that was worried about, that's my review. If you're anyone that grew up in our era, because I assume you're the same way, Tate, that I feel like I was I am the perfect Jackass demographic where like when Jackass started, I was the perfect age, living in the perfect part of the world where I was like a disgruntled, like teenage angsty kid in suburbia, middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know, I don't
just all doing stupid stuff.
Yes. Yeah. I love and you watch Jackass, it hit. I've watched every second of Jackass content. And then the fear, you know, when the movie comes out in 2022, you're like, it's not gonna be the same. Is it gonna screw it, I'll go see it. And I went and saw it, and it was it was everything I needed.
In that whole group, like you said, like Viva La Bam was a great show. Wild Boys is a great. I mean, all those guys.
Well, Bam's the tough part of it.
I know. But like at the time when it all first came out, it was like an extended universe. You were like, all these guys.
I think they got one more movie in them, and it's Bam. They finally get Bam cleaned up.
Yeah.
And they bring it all back together, and it's like a big reunion. And yeah.
Jackass 5 ever.
5 ever. I think you're right. Anyway, that's it. That's the show. We're doing a bonus show on Saturday, huh? We're gonna go to your house,
run it back,
and
live from the bubble.
Yeah.
Oh God,
we're gonna call Tate's house.
Get me out of the bubble. Get me away from bubbles.
See you guys then.